So I'm in my flop era. My last video is not performing very well, and I have to be honest, I am kind of sad about it. This was the very first time I let someone else edit a very large portion of my video, and I'm not blaming it on them because I don't think it was them. I think it was the subject. I know that there's a lot of stuff going on right now, and there are a lot of people who, you know, there are a lot of people who don't really necessarily like, I don't know, want to hear from me about silly non-political things. But as I've kind of talked about on here before, I have really been talking about this for a really long time. And even though there are so many things I can say, I do feel the need to say that I am kind of fatigued because to be honest, I've gotten the impression that my participation in political conversation is not very productive. And what I mean when I say that is just, I've been talking about this stuff for so long that I think if what I had to say was actually going to have the impact that I thought it was going to have, people would have probably listened to the things that I had to say. And I've talked about this before, but I've given up a lot of my creative energy to have political conversations. And what I've been doing more recently is leaning into my creativity a bit more. And I'm having a hard time feeling like the only thing you guys want from me is political discussion when that is something that I can do, but probably don't want to do in the way that I've historically done it. So right now, like for example, I know that if I did a video about the Ezra Klein and Ta-Nehisi Coates interview, and by extension Charlie Kirk, and by extension Donald Trump, I know that those videos would perform well. And obviously, as a creator, I'm having that concern about like where do I put my money into, because if I'm investing a lot into content that isn't being seen, that is a net loss for me, and I'm trying not to have those. So I want to know what you guys want from me. I have a lot of more personal sort of stuff that is bubbling up in the back of my head in terms of like just showing you guys certain aspects of my life and how I'm kind of like processing certain little things right now. And I don't know, I'm just very curious to know how you guys feel about that and if you guys have any interest in that, because right now I'm at this point where I have too many ideas and I could use your help narrowing them down.